morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to another daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Wednesday the 9th of September. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks here. Slightly bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 10.165 to support a run at the first major resistance level, saying 10.447. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally on the day for Bitcoin to break back through to 10,400 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and Monday's high at 10.464 to limit any upside on the day. In the event of a breakout, expect resistance at 10,700 to pin back Bitcoin. We've got the second major resistance level sitting at 10.746. Pillar to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 9.866 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid the second major support level sitting at 9.583. Looking at the MACD, we're seeing a widening of the bullish histogram following yesterday's late bullish crossover, supportive of a bullish morning. We are seeing nothing conclusive on the EMA, however, bottoming out on the 50, suggestive of at least some support through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, a move through the pivot level to then target 10,400 levels and test resistance at 10,500 to prevent any downside on the day. Moving across to EOS against the US dollar, choppy start to the morning, finding some support, however. Going to need to see EOS avoid a fall back through the pivot at 2.7627 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 2.8687. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally for EOS to break back through to 2.8 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 2.8706 to limit any upside. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 2.9766 and resistance at 3 to limit any upside on the day. Fall back through the pivot level will bring the first major support level sitting at 2.6548 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, EOS should avoid sub 2.6 levels. Second major support level sits at 2.5488. Looking at the MACDs, widening of the bullish histogram after late bullish crossover yesterday, supportive of this early move through the pivot level. Looking at the EMAs, possible bottoming out on the 50, slight narrowing against 100 and the 200, supportive of a bullish morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a pullback through the pivot and move through to 2.8 levels to then bring the resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, mixed start today but finding some support. Going to need to Ethereum avoid a fallback through the pivot at 340, support run at the first major resistance level at 354.54. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Ethereum to break back through to 350s, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 357.01 to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, got 38.2% fib at 367 and the second major resistance level at 371.6 to limit any upside on the day. Fall back through the pivot level, bring the first major support level at 322.89 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, Ethereum should continue to avoid sub 300s. The second major support level sits at 308.3 that should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, slight widening of the bullish histogram and a bullish crossover on the MACD though, supportive of the early upside. We're also seeing a slight narrowing of the gap between the 100 and the 50, supportive of a bullish morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through 340s and move back through to 350s to then bring the major resistance levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, tracking the broader market. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 2370 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 2430. We're going to need to see support from the broader market, however, for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 24 levels. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect yesterday's high was at 24.33 and the first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level sitting at 24.94 and resistance at 0.25 to cap any upside on the day. Fall back through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 23.07 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.22s. Second major support level at 22.47 should limit any downside on the day. Finally, looking at the MACDs, we're seeing a bullish crossover there and a slight widening of the bullish histogram, supportive of a positive day ahead. On the EMAs, we've seen the 50 bottom out and begin to narrow against the 100 and the 200, also supportive of a move northwards. Key, however, through the morning would be to avoid a pullback through the pivot at 23.70 and to move back through to 0.24 levels to prevent another day in the red.